Here's my mind map based on our lecture. I felt the lecture represented an evolution of reading through the ages, so I chose a title and picture to represent those ideas. In the early 1800s to 1960s, the most popular reading tools were the New England Primer or McGuffey's Eclectic Reader. In the early 1900s, there was much research going on in the area of reading. Charles Hubbard, Judd, believed silent reading was better. And here I have the Silent Reading Hour book to go along with him. William Gray shared his opinion, saying that silence was better, more practical, and efficient. Ernest Horn came up with the 5 rules of spelling, the key being to always pre-test and only teach the unknown words. Edward Thorndike equated the ideas of understanding a paragraph to being equivalent to solving a math equation. And so here I have a textbook with math alongside. 1937, Rosenblatt presents the notion that reading is a transaction between a reader and the text. The 1950s is noted as a time for change, a move from memorization to phonics. And so here I have an arrow moving toward a change. In the 1960s is the emergence of instructional strategies. It is now thought that the teacher plays an active role in student learning. Specific skills are now taught, comprehension is monitored, there's an increase in writing at the elementary level. And here I chose a picture of a teacher working one-on-one with a student to show the level of monitoring that's taking place. Moving on to the 1980s, this is a time where schools are considered failing. Time of reading wars brings about a battle of phonics versus whole language. In the late 80s, it is now recognized that an approach to balanced literacy is needed. And so here I have a balance scale showing the need for taking time to show all parts of language arts. Moving on to the 1990s, the reading wars come to an end. There's a recognition that both phonological and phonemic awareness are needed to read. In 1999, the Reading Excellence Program instruction based on research was brought about. This brought about a broader view of literacy and early intervention for students. And here you can see a student representing letters with sounds and putting it together to make a word. The 2000s brought lots of change. Early on, the National Panel on Reading was created to assess effectiveness of approaches to reading instruction. The report shows a need for systematic phonics instructions. Phonemic awareness is considered an essential part of education. Guided repeated oral reading is considered to be a key component to reading success. The panel says that formal, intensive teacher training is required early on in teachers' education. There's now an understanding that comprehension is cornerstone to literacy. And so here I have selected a picture showing teacher training with both textbooks and technology. 2002, we have the No Child Left Behind education reform. The belief that all children have a right to an education, that instruction should be done using proven teaching methods. In 2011 brings about the introduction to the Common Core, an initiative to establish a definitive set of knowledge and skills students need to be successful. There should be a consistent set of standards across geographical regions so that all students are coming to the table with the same set of skills. And here it's represented with the Common Core symbol. And finally, there are multiple major literacy organizations. The one I found to be the most useful is the International Reading Association. This is an excellent resource for teachers, offering reading lists created by both teachers and students, unit and lesson plans. Many of these resources are free. There also is a membership available, and that membership is at a reduced cost for anybody in undergrad or graduate studies. And here's the International Reading Association symbol. And that is my mind map. I apologize for the shakiness and blurriness.